Hi everyone, my name is Andrew Padoa, Portfolio Manager at Sasfin Wealth. So late last year, I had a client's portfolio review. This client's been an investor with Sasfin since 2012. We've been managing their overseas share portfolio. Their portfolio has done phenomenally well, way ahead of what global stock markets have done over the same time period. But the one thing that really struck me and got my attention was that in a 21 stock portfolio, the performance came from a handful of businesses. It came from 5 or 6 companies such as Nvidia, L'Oreal, Alphabet, Microsoft, MasterCard, and Louis Vuitton. Scrutinizing other portfolios that we run, we saw a similar pattern. A handful of stocks contribute to most of the investment performance. Warren Buffett, in the 2022 Berkshire Hathaway annual letter, he said that in their 50 or 60 years of having Berkshire Hathaway, most of their investment decisions have actually been so-so. Their performance over the last 50 or 60 years has been driven by a handful of businesses, roughly a dozen of them. So Warren Buffett is seeing a similar pattern to us. It's a handful of stocks that are driving total investment returns. In a paper titled "Do Stocks Outperform Treasury Bills?", Hendrik Bessembinder, who's a professor of finance at the Arizona State University, he drafted this paper. And he had a look at all the US stocks that have been listed from 1926 all the way to 2016 and had a look at how they've performed. And what he found is that only 4% of stocks outperformed treasury bills. The other 96% were really average investments. So again, Bessembinder is seeing a similar thing, that total investment performance is coming from a handful, a very small handful of stocks. If we invest in a company that has a durable competitive advantage, strong balance sheet, operates in an industry with secular tailwinds, and its weighting in the portfolio moves from 3 to 6%, it doesn't really make sense to trim the position. Rather hold it, sit back and do nothing, than have the urge to trim that position. Gautam Baid wrote a book called The Making of a Value Investor, and in the book he describes the scenario. You've got a 2-stock portfolio, stock A and stock B, both start at $100 a share. Stock A does really well in year 1 and it goes up 26%, so it's worth $126 at the end of year 1. Stock B doesn't do well and falls 26%, so at the end of year 1, stock B is worth $74. Now you assume that stock A keeps going up by 26% per year for the next 10 years, and stock B falls 26% for the next 10 years. Even with stock B falling to literally zero, this 2-stock portfolio has achieved a return of 17.6% because of what stock A managed to do, and it managed to keep compounding at 26% per year for the 10 years. And that is the magic of compounding. You can get several investment decisions wrong, but still have a good investment outcome by making sure that your winners count. It's not about how often you are right or wrong, it's about how much you make when you are right and how little you lose when you are wrong. Nobody knows ahead of time which stocks are going to outperform. The trick is, once you've identified the winners, let them keep running. Don't interrupt them and trim them early and interrupt their compounding effects. Nick Sleep eloquently described this in one of his investment letters. The biggest error an investor can make is the sale of a Walmart or a Microsoft in the early stages of the company's growth. Mathematically, this error is far greater than the equivalent sum invested in a firm that goes bankrupt. The industry tends to gloss over this fact, perhaps because opportunity costs go unrecorded in performance records. Our investment philosophy at Sasfin is to find 20 to 30 high-quality businesses. It's rare to find these high-quality businesses at attractive valuations, so it makes sense to hold them once you've got them and to let them count, let your winners run. Warren Buffett, Hendrik Bessembinder, Gautam Baid, and Nick Sleep would all agree.